Welcome to my training video titled Avoiding a Fight. This is a video that is focusing on conflict resolution. I'm Carl Torsmans, former Deputy Warden, short story writer, and I hope that this helps you get an idea how to defend yourself or look for possible ways of finding an exit or escape if faced with a hostile environment. It's the aim of this video to give you hints or insights in helping you to avoid conflict, but at the same time, take deliberate actions that enable you to survive and escape if you have to fight. Remember that defending yourself by fighting or taking a defensive action is a final resort, and it's one of the primary tools under the continuum of force available to you as an officer after nonviolent methods have failed. Having said that, bring your awareness levels to higher settings. This is called assessing the environment. Assess various objects that are around you, such as brooms, chairs, weights that can be used as weapons against you. Check for escape routes, if possible when outnumbered, and check for possible blind spots and ambush traps. Use all your senses fully. Don't just look around directly. Use shadows and reflections, mirrors, glass, etc. to your advantage. Never underestimate. Always err on the side of caution by assuming the following. Your opponent is a better fighter and has backup. He or she or they have a blunt instrument or edged weapon. That you're ready, and you always use your peripheral vision at all times. The most sure way to win in a fight is not to fight altogether. Look for some sort of warning before actual engaging in physical aggression occurs. If you can resolve a dispute without having to fight to do so, don't let your ego get in the way of your safety. Stay calm and take firm but non-confrontational approach. Be neutral if possible. Never turn your back on the aggressor. It's wise to take 2 or 3 steps back and then turn if need be, and always be ready for the sucker punch. Be firm verbally. Use terms like stop, keep away, back off, get louder as he or she or they get closer. If possible, call for backup. Stay at a distance from your opponent, allowing the distance to shorten only to strike. The attacker needs to close distance to strike you. Stay just out of their reach, meaning they cannot hit you, and watch their eyes, their hands, and their feet. Very important that you pay attention to the details. Try to stay away and try to stay on the opponent's outside. Keep your guard up. Try to keep your opponent off balance, even if it's only by extending your hands in a stay back type of pose. It places something between you and him or her or them. Stay as relaxed as you can. Stay calm and breathe deeply. The more relaxed you are, the harder you will strike and the less susceptible to injury you will be. Try to follow your opponent's movements. Hunting and pecking for openings will only get you hurt. Feel their movement, and openings will present themselves. Fight smart, not hard. Know when and how to run. If you're outmatched or outnumbered, or just not willing to fight, then run at the first opportunity towards exits or into the view of others or control centers. If possible, move to another location where it's more public, well lit, and where there will be others. When escaping in the middle of a confrontation, try to impede your opponents as much as possible. Block them with obstacles. If you can, put a trash can or other barriers between you and the attacker. The more the better. Run between narrow paths, such as between tables, fenced-off areas, or up a narrow stairwell, and fight downward. Make sure you have an exit, or run and fight through a narrow hallway. This will prevent the opponents from ganging up on you. If you know you won't outrun them, don't try. If you get caught, especially with multiple attackers, you are more likely to lose the fight due to simple lack of energy. Fight smart, not hard. Establish your balance so that you can stay on your feet. Spread your length or shoulders and width, and bend your knees. By that, it means to take a combat stance like they teach you at the academy. Going to the ground is very dangerous for an untrained fighter, especially if the opponent has weapons or ground fighting experience. Think of the MMA fighters. Watch how they fight and the damage they do if you go down. If you find yourself tangled up with them, break away if you can. Avoid going to the ground. Respond to attacks by aiming for any open, vulnerable spot without exposing too much of yourself. Use reasonable force or force trained to defend yourself. Damage to soft spots as face, temple, throat, kidney, solar plexus, etc. may eventually incapacitate your opponent. Scratching, biting, clawing, spitting, pulling hair, and attacking eyes can also be used. There are no rules when you're defending yourself. Use anything you can to ensure your safety. Poke the eyes if there's any getting up on you. Hit with outstretched fingers in the front of the throat. Always remember to keep your fingers close together. Do not splay your fingers. Splayed fingers are weak hands. Hitting the nose blurs the eyes and causes pain. It might leave your opponent dazed long enough for you to get away. Consider using low kicks if you're at arm's reach. Low kicks should be aimed toward shins, ankles, the insides of back or calves or thighs, and kneecaps. I always go for the kneecaps. Do not aim higher than the knee or waist because they will grab your leg and put you at a disadvantage. Attacks from behind are difficult to see and avoid. In a real fight, it's not cowardly to strike from behind. Watch your back and attack that of your opponents. Headbutts allowed. Your opponent hit him fast and hard. Bring the top of your forehead across his nose and face. Learn how to grapple. A successful grapple can put you in control, even if the attacker is much stronger or faster than you. One way is waiting for them to make a move and then counterattack. Be as loud as possible. Don't be afraid to scream for help or yell out. This brings unwanted attention that your attacker would rather not have. It's all that distracts them and could make them panic, making them less conscientious fighters. Escape as soon as your opponent or opponents are incapacitated enough to allow you to run as described above. Get help as soon as you can via radio or visual to a control center. Let them know where you are, where the attack occurred, and, if possible, describe and identify your attackers. If you are fighting more than one opponent, attack the closest to you first. If you get one or more opponents down, run. Sometimes taking out just one can scare off the others. Count how many opponents are after you and commit this to memory. This will prevent surprise attacks on you if they split up. Fight if you're pushed into a corner. Given a successful fight makes them follow any reasonable commands you give to control the situation.